Welcome back to the Dirty Shirt Podcast.
This is Season 2, Episode 9.
I'm Braden.
And I'm Nolan.
And we're off.
Like a teacher in summer.
Boom.
This blanket's gonna make me way too hot. Is there somewhere I should put this?
Nah, whatever. Ooh. I don't know. Should I kick back too with like you guys?
Lounge.
Yeah.
I'm fully in on the crotch pod, so
Oh,
I was
yeah.
hoping to spread a little on
Yeah,
the
go for
episode.
it. I'll sit like this. Yeah. We're back at my house again today. Oh, I don't know if you probably won't be able to see the Christmas tree. My mom's a big fan of winter time, Christmas time. So we usually leave our like Christmas decorations up for a while. Usually after Christmas it kind of changed to winter decorations. So she has like, she leaves the snowman up for a bit and
Yeah.
the tree gets left up. But yeah, so we're here. This chair is where my mom likes to. Well, they both use it. It's like my mom's chair, though, so she'll read in it and do devotions and whatever. And then they like to sit here together. And then the camera's set up on the fireplace, which is just an electric fireplace. It's cool. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think you can leave winter decorations up longer.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny because McKenna and I, we had a busy holiday season at the cafe. We were doing a bunch of different things. And we hadn't gotten a nice fake Christmas tree yet. So I was like, you know what we should do? This is our first Christmas in our house. I was like, we should get a real tree this year because that would be special. And then once Christmas is over, people don't want to have to shove their tree back in their attic, so they'll be selling it for dirt cheap. And we can buy a really nice fake one.
Yeah.
I was like, but if we buy it now, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before Christmas, they're going to be so expensive.
True.
So then we were looking around, and then just one thing happened after another. We got a little sick, and it ended up being the week before Christmas, and we're like, surely now the real trees, they've already been cut, they're gonna be cheap, and they were the same price, and I was
Dang.
like, I will not pay full price a week before Christmas. So then it ended up being Christmas Eve. We both had the flu. We had no tree. So I ran to the cafe and stole one of our fake trees.
Whoa.
I felt like the Grinch.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's literally the Grinch.
I'm
stealing
taking
tree on
this.
Christmas Eve.
yeah, and then set it up in our house. Anyways, so we're no further along than we were.
Dang.
But
Dang. We notoriously as a family have gotten a real Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving. Well, most of the time it is Black Friday. I feel like recently it has gone 2 different days just because we're all busy. But the place that we normally go has been closed for the past 2 years because they just didn't have trees.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of crazy for a tree farm.
Yeah.
But they opened again this year, so it was nice to go back there. And they were still kind of small. There was definitely bigger ones, but the house that we live in currently is pretty well. Brayden, you've seen it.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you over sometime, Nolan. But
Yeah.
it is the size of this room.
Yeah.
And we do not have a lot of room for a tree, so we get a 4-5 foot maybe tree. And the way that our living room is set up is the couch takes up majority of the outer, it's a nice big sectional. And because of that, we have to push it up against the wall. So I brought it in and literally sheared it in half so that I could push it farther against the wall.
That's awesome.
So taking it out, it's literally half a tree. If you bring it any farther out from the wall, you're ooh, what happened to your tree? But yeah, we got rid of ours maybe it was probably less than a week afterwards because we've had, I don't know if you've had a real tree before, if you've had this problem. I never noticed it growing up, but we've had the past 2 years that we've been married and had our own Christmas tree in our house. It has little spiders on it that they haven't become a problem, but I think because I have seen them, it's a problem in my head that I'm constantly looking for when looking at the tree. And they're super small, almost ant-like spiders. And I feel they don't get any bigger, but like I'm constantly looking for them at like the point of the tree, especially like just at the top, because we don't have any sort of like top or anything, so it's literally like spiders up there, and I'll just like periodically go up, look for them, squish a couple, and then like leave, and I'm like, man, I really hope they don't like invade our house or anything. So I'm kind of eager to get rid of our tree at the end of the Christmas season.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
We never did a real tree growing up because I don't know. We've had the one back there for, I mean, as long as I can remember, and it's cool because it like spins around.
Rotating.
Yeah, rotating tree. And yeah, so we've just always done those, and I think they're just like easier and like less of a mess. You do have to store it every year, and I might get corrected on that, but I don't remember doing a real tree. I think my grandparents had a real tree, like maybe once. I don't know. That I can remember. But yeah. This is Caleb.
Hi.
And yes, you have a wife and a kid.
And a baby.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. And I feel like, in all honesty, most of like the Woodcrest crew, I see a group at basketball, mostly Monday night basketball, and then I feel like I'm a little bit removed from it to some extent because I haven't worked there for a couple summers and like just have things that I'm doing. But I feel like there's not a lot of people that have met her and or like that I've got to like even talk about the fact that like I'm a dad.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
I totally not like forget, but like there's
Right.
things where I'm like, oh right, maybe I should act like a father or something here in this situation. So that's been a fun challenge that I've been gifted. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, yeah, it's cool learning about like what things, and like you too, like, and we talked about this a bit in the past couple episodes, but like, traditions from your family, and then like what you want to bring on to like you guys are starting your
Right.
families and whatnot. So, I guess this would be your guys' second Christmas too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, yeah, that's cool. Very cool. First one in the new house, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys have been living in that house since you got married?
yeah,
Okay.
so it would be. I mean, we've been there 2 summers. I don't know that it's technically been 2 years or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been there since we got married, though. Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. It's weird how we count years and, like, just counting in general. Because if you think, like, 1 to 10, that's...
10.
If you think of 2001 to 2010, that's 9 years.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you were born in 2001 and you died in 2010, you'd be 9 years old when you died. But if you're thinking like 1 to 10, that's 10 numbers.
Yeah. Potentially 8. You could potentially be 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even that.
But yeah.
That's true. I feel like I've had a very bad gauge on, and maybe this makes me really sound like an adult, but like time in general over like the past, like once graduating college, I feel like it really is just like, I mean, you have things that you're doing, but the years kind of just keep moving by. And even like my graduating year of college, I often forget like when I graduated. Well, it was in December because I did like, when I transferred from one college to another, I lost some credits and had to finish like in December instead of like the end of the year in May. So like I graduated right before the change of a year. So like when people are like, when did you graduate? I'm like, I do not know. Like I have to. The only way that I've figured out, and I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, is I'll look up our volleyball roster from my senior year, and I'm like, all right, that was the graduating year. That is the year that I graduated. But rarely does it actually matter what year I say to someone. So
That's
Yeah.
funny. Well, like the other thing too, I always get these mixed up because when you talk about like centuries, like the first century was like year 0, like to 100.
Mm-hmm.
So like when people are like, "Oh yeah, we're in," or they're like back in like the 19th century or something. I don't know. I feel like I always get the dates like mixed up.
Yeah.
This isn't the 19th century
Yeah.
from like the 1800s
Right.
to the 1900s.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're living in the 21st century right now, because the first century was
Zero.
everything up until 100, and then once like 100 and on started, that was the second century,
Right.
which is weird.
It feels like we should call it the 20th.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why like the bum 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 bum. That's 20th Century Fox,
okay.
because it came out in 19 whatever, and now it's 21st Century Fox. I don't know if they actually changed it or not.
Were you born in the 1900s?
I was not, no.
Were you?
Dinosaur. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, like barely. Like I was born in November, so
Yeah.
You're
it was-
vintage.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a video the other day that was like they were like saying their
I've been seeing
dates or
those.
whatever, and it's just like the dinosaurs pop up. I was like, no. I was like, I do not fall into that. I was like, I am not that old.
Yeah.
I love just like fully obscured facts where it's just like, it's like, did you know that 30 years ago, like something like that Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone 30 years ago? And it's like, no. Or like,
Lying.
my favorite is like the shape of Texas. They're like, Texas is so big, and it'll be like New Jersey in there, and like the Eiffel Tower, and then it'll be like another Texas, and then like
Hold on.
all
Wait a
of
sec.
North
Hold on a
America. It's like, wait a minute.
Man, that is pretty big, Texas.
Yeah. Texas can fit 3 Texases within it.
Texas is so big that if you laid a map of Texas down in Texas, it would be bigger than it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Caleb, you mentioned basketball, playing basketball on Monday nights with everybody, and you also mentioned you played volleyball in college. You recently have gotten me into volleyball more than I have been in the past. At camp, we would play speed volleyball, which is where you all do speed and then play volleyball. Just kidding.
He's not kidding.
It's not that. It's not that. It's basically just a way that you can play volleyball with like way more people, because we would often like all want to go play and then we'd have way too many people. So you basically make different teams, and then like 2 teams play each other, and then once one of those teams loses, they run off, and then the next team goes on.
Right. Every point loses
Yeah.
1 point.
Yep.
You rotate.
Yep. So it's like it's really fast, and that's why it's called speed volleyball. So that's really fun, and I've played that for years now. But I've been playing rec volleyball now, which is much more organized.
Elite rec volleyball.
Yeah, yeah. But like, it's just a far different.
Yeah,
vibe.
it is. If you've never played the sport of volleyball as an organized sport, it is like worlds different from like your backyard or your
Yeah.
gym class volleyball.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm sure is true of many sports, but it's one that I feel like a lot of people have been like, oh yeah, I've played volleyball. And like,
Right.
like if you ask somebody like fill in, they're like, oh, I've played volleyball. But if they haven't like played volleyball, would be like very lost like as to like what's happening until you like had to explain like a lot of it, which I feel bad for you in some ways because we play in a rec volleyball league that plays once to twice a week, and like again, athletic enough to play no problem, but like the learning of like positioning and like things that happen on the volleyball court, it's like 1,000. And like the first night that you came, I probably tried to tell you like things that I've taught like people in like years, and I was like, all right, go get them.
yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I was like, The first couple weeks that my brain was just spinning.
Yeah.
And like I felt like I was in the wrong place at the wrong time every time.
Yeah.
And like I made a couple plays here and there, but and I feel like I'm in a good position where like I know what I need to do at certain spots, and and there's still a lot that I don't know, and like I still feel like my brain is just like just a second behind. Like I'll see something and something will happen. I was like, oh, I should have done that. And then, but it was really weird because I thought that like physically I was not going to be there, and that I would just, mentally, I didn't even consider like how much of a mental game it was going to be. And then I was surprised to find that like, oh, I can like, I mean, I'm getting there physically,
Right.
but the mental part of it is like way more intense. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun though. I bring this up because I saw a question recently, and I think you would have a unique perspective on this, which is what sport is more technically challenging, volleyball or basketball?
Ooh. Technically challenging?
Like, which sport is more technical?
Yeah. I was trying to think. I've never played like organized on a team basketball. So like it's always been like pickup, and like I feel like for myself it's like you've picked up information, but it's not like I've run like plays or like really been like focused on like, oh, this is how you should form, shoot, and or pass or run this. I feel like there's a lot more of uncontrollables in volleyball in the sense that oftentimes the ball doesn't always move the same way, if that makes sense. Like in basketball, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Like it'll bounce different ways, but like in volleyball, often the ball is like sometimes it's like rolling down really hard at you, and sometimes it's like floating at you, and then all of a sudden it just like drops out of the air, and you're like, what even just happened? And like that stuff where it's like without knowing how to like move to the ball, like it could be very challenging. Like you have to be, I guess it would be more technically challenging because you have to be like technically sound to be able to move and then like pass or hit that ball based off of what's happening in the game. And it's also, I would say most of the time it's probably a faster pace than basketball. Like there's portions of it that would be similar in speed, but like there's a point in basketball where the ball gets like brought up the court. But in volleyball, it's often like, I mean, you get like a quick second to reset as like a ball goes over. But then by that point, like there's only like 2 seconds until it's coming like back at your face and you have to like move somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's my take on the subject. But I don't know. What would you say as far as now that you've played some more organized volleyball?
I mean, I have very limited organized experience with both of them. Like I played rec basketball in high school, or not in high school, in middle school and like late elementary school. But and like I enjoy watching basketball a lot. I haven't watched a lot of volleyball. But I've been learning more. And well, first of all, I'll say it's funny, like people get super defensive about it. Like well, in the question that I saw posed online, the two people were like really upset at each other. No, basketball's way more technical and way more physical and everything. It's like, well, who cares? Like,
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it's not that deep. But yeah, like I think what's interesting to me is like just because you're I'm very confident in making a shot like within 5 feet. Like I can use the backboard. I'll do it without using the backboard. I'm getting my sky hook. My sky hook's coming.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that you can shoot threes or you can shoot, foul shots or step backs or whatever. And like, I feel like there's a lot of intricacies in every bit of basketball. Like you can learn a lot of things about shooting. You can learn a lot of things about defense. You can learn a lot of things about passing. And then like there's all kinds of plays on top of that and whatever. However, there's things that you can do in basketball that make those like technicalities like a lot less of an edge, if you know what I mean. Like like if you play zone defense, you can get away with not knowing how an offense is going to work because, you're covered. Or I don't know if that's making sense. I feel like a a super technically sound volleyball team is going to have more of advantage over a not super technically sound volleyball team than a super technically sound basketball team would have over a not super technically sound basketball team. I don't know. That's kind of how I've been thinking about it. Because I've been thinking about the question since I heard it, because it's kind of interesting. So, yeah, I don't know.
I haven't played a ton of volleyball, especially not organized, but I don't know.
We could use you.
Yeah. From what like you guys are saying and what I perceive and a little bit of my experience, I feel like basketball might be more technical for the individual, like skill, like the handling, the whatever. In volleyball, you're not touching the ball like the whole
All the
time. You're not
time, yeah.
handling it. You're not running through a defender necessarily. So it has some of those aspects. Like Kyrie has some crazy like technical skills.
Yeah.
But I think like in volleyball, that like teamwork and the understanding of how everything functions is really helpful.
Yeah.
I heard it once that like it was like a thing in soccer. It was like comparing soccer and basketball, and they were saying like how basketball is moving to a superstar league, and they're like you can make a basketball team way better by making one player really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, but like in like soccer or football, like if you make the worst player better, it makes the team way better than making the best player better.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could be true of volleyball because like you can place the ball and make the worst player play it every time.
Mm-hmm.
But in basketball, you can kind of attack a bad player on defense. But on offense, you can just hand it to the star player and they can just dribble around and dunk on somebody.
And that's a good point. I often get targeted on like serves.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there is a bit of that. I feel like you're right. I mean, there's definitely like teams that you'll play that is like a one-man team, like it might be in like basketball. But yeah, if
like
you really wanted to
set every time.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's like, but you still need like two people to get him the ball, like somebody
Right.
to pass it and somebody to set it. So
Yeah.
like it would be more beneficial to like improve them and like everybody be technically sound to build the team around like that one player.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I guess that's
With your take.
a nice place to land is they're both technical in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I do really feel.
But that's not going to get us podcast views.
True.
You're wrong.
And
you're wrong.
I gotta leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. That's like hitting a baseball is like considered one of the hardest things to do in sports. But like if you've never done it, it's like, well, they do it all the time. Like, why is that hard? Well, I don't know. Yeah. Just like, yeah. People will find anything that they can to get upset about. So, yeah.
Right. And whatever you have more experience in, because I feel like baseball is compared to golf a lot. People are like, yeah, but the ball's not even moving. They're like, yeah, but you have to do way more with your hands and whatever. It's like, I don't know. And you only get one try in golf. You do like 10 tries in baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, sometimes it's only 3 tries.
Yeah. Sometimes you could fly out right away. Like you, even if a really great pitch comes, you still have to hit it well, or else it's a pop-up. That's why, mark me down, Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame and still considered the GOAT. I don't care that he did PEDs.
Whoa.
He did that, but so many other people did that who are in the Hall. Like Alex Rodriguez is in the Hall. And like it was agreed upon that it was like kind of okay.
He's
until
actually right back here in the hall.
It was like kind of agreed upon that it was like okay for people to do it. Like it's not as if it was a secret that they were doing it, and then like one day they decided it wasn't okay, so they made an example out of him, and then now he's not in the Hall. Like, it's just like, because doing PEDs definitely increases your strength. And some of the balls that were home runs probably would have been flyouts instead of it being a home run. But doing PEDs by no means increases your baseball IQ, your like working a pitch, or your like contact with the ball. And one of the things about Barry Bonds is that he was such a great hitter, and that he hit a lot of home runs, but he hit a lot of home runs because he was a really good hitter, not necessarily because he was super strong. And he was hitting home runs before he did PEDs too.
Yeah.
So
It came up in at our church's chili cook-off the other day.
yeah.
Because wasn't Max Kepler, didn't he
Yep.
get suspended
Mm-hmm.
and like did not perform any better after being like on the juice?
Yep. He was suspended because he used PEDs last year, or I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, he used something, and performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
He used PEDs last year, and and everybody was clowning on him because like he still was
Just
like not that
you weren't,
great.
You weren't
Yeah.
that good. Should have just been better.
Right.
We talked about how maybe that our church softball team should start juicing because they wouldn't check us.
Yeah.
No, we will not be, but it was mentioned as a possible strategy for next season.
Yeah.
It's like a confidence thing too. You're like
Right.
you think you have the like an extra edge,
That's
so
true.
it makes you
That's
probably
true,
makes
yeah.
you swing more confidently. I
Yeah.
don't
That's
know.
true. I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see that. Because I mean, baseball is a big mental game as well. So yeah, that confidence would be crazy, I guess. I still think he should be in the hall.
Hot take.
Yeah. Because there's other people who did PEDs in the hall.
Mm.
David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez. Anywho.
Barry Bonds' nephew, I think. I forget. There's someone that I know through someone that is dating Barry Bonds' nephew or something. He is not on PEDs, to my knowledge. And I have never met this man.
Is he a baseball
but
player?
That was just my claim to fame. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like he plays at like Rutgers or something. I
Okay.
forget. I feel like it's
James
Oh.
Bonds.
that's his name. How'd you know?
That's funny.
Yeah.
I saw Pablo Sandoval we talked about this
Yeah.
already. Episode
11.
Yeah. I think it was right before. Yeah. I saw Pablo Sandoval at Barnstormers game because he plays for the Field Hawks or whatever.
Yeah.
Fairy Hawks.
Fairy Hawks.
Staten Island.
Whoa.
Yeah, with his, I think it's his son or something, or he has like another family member on there, I think, or I think he's just playing some fun baseball in his retirement from the MLB. But it's crazy.
I wonder
seeing-
who won this year because
True. Yeah.
like the Barnstormers were the 3-time champions. They three-peated, and then they didn't win this year. They were out in the first round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a kid from my graduating high school class that plays on the Barnstormers.
Oh,
now,
nice.
which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Not that we were maybe like friends in middle school, but I haven't seen him play for the Barnstormers, but I hear he's pretty good. So.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's a fun thing. It's interesting. Well, yeah, we've talked about it, but just like it's like a different league. It's not like a minor league. It's not an MLB. It's like a partner league.
Yeah.
They have their own thing going, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
I was once an EMT at a Barnstormers game.
Oh, really? I didn't know you were an EMT. at
Yeah,
one
it's
point.
part-time for the 7th inning stretch. No.
Nice.
I forget. We were there for a game and walked in, and we're like kind of early, I think. And there was a guy that like came around and was like, "Hey, like, would you want to be a part of like this thing for like this 7th inning?" And I don't know what like came over me, and I was like, "Yeah, sure," which like was fine. But like the whole rest of like the first 6 innings, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, wait, what did I gotta go on the field and do something? So I did like not enjoy the first like 6 innings just because I was like, what are we gonna do? Am I gonna make a fool out of myself?
Yeah.
And it was literally like such a minor role in like a skit that they did. Which is a whole different thing. The Barnstormers brought in a different mascot. Like this like 2-man set like travels to like all kinds of different games and places as a like, he's not a specific mascot for somebody. Like he is brought in like to this game.
Sports mascot.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember his name, but the whole skit was like he tries to do a jump on like some kid's bike or something, and he doesn't, like he injures himself, and we the EMTs come in and we take the bike off on the stretcher instead of like him. But it was kind of fun. They like took
That
us
is
up to
funny.
like a suite, and like the dude was sitting in there with like his head off, not his real head, his mascot head, of course. But it was just like this dude sitting there with like a do-rag on, and I was like, "Oh, hey,
What's up,
He's
man?
like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "All right, cool." And then he just like, I forget, he like even said like they've been to like all kinds of like NBA games and stuff. Like it seemed like this guy had made like a pretty decent career out of like just going and being like mascots at, or taking his mascot to like different places, which was a random field.
Yeah. Isn't that I think that's I've seen that other places where like you have like kind of a halftime show, and then you can do that, get hired to do that at different stadiums and whatnot. And that's one thing about the Barnstormers. They do a great job of like having a bunch of cool things in between in a lot of the innings.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, very cool. Well, you are also a teacher.
I am, or I claim to be.
Which, I mean, we don't always do this for our guests.
Whoa!
But I had to get you a little something.
Oh.
No!
Boom!
Take a good look at this.
I didn't see that coming. Wow.
It's an apple.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Teacher's pet. I'm sitting you in the front.
I was thinking about this today, or like the past like 2-3 days. You can eat if you want. And I was like, why are apples like synonymous with like teachers or a teacher gift, or like
where did that come
or
from?
like education? If you tell people to draw like 3 symbols of education, it's like a number 2 pencil, a notebook, and an apple.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
I have also never been given an apple as a teacher. So this
I was gonna ask. Have you ever been given an
my
apple?
first?
Nice.
I'm very happy. It was actually very good too.
Good.
I have no idea where that comes from.
Oh, you're a teacher? Where does apples come from?
Oh, you teach? Tell me this. No.
When one apple tree and another apple tree love each other very much.
Yeah. We'll save that one for their parents. Ask your parents. No, I have no idea where the apple thing comes from. I'd be curious to know, like, along those same lines, like, of your teachers. I'd be curious to know from my students now, but from maybe even teachers that you've had, like, if they were to give you like the 3 things that associate with you, like as a gift, like what would they give you instead of like the apple? Just because it's like I have no idea why this got associated with like teachers, but I'm like, what do they associate with myself or teachers in general now?
Yeah.
I'm like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So maybe you want to keep your teachers healthy. Is that? I mean that.
Or keep them away.
Yeah,
keep them away. Yeah.
Who knows?
Depends on your take on school, I guess.
Yeah.
I like brought this up to one of my employees, and he's like, well, maybe potentially because of like the biblical tradition of like at least in North America, an apple being the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, and it being associated with knowledge.
Yeah.
And like maybe like that's why we associate it with teachers and education.
I could see that.
It's like, I don't know, maybe.
No.
So I didn't
That'd
look
be
it up.
crazy.
Classic.
Classic.
Dang it.
Nor will we.
Yeah.
Leave that.
That's your homework.
Yeah, go ahead and look that up at home, guys.
Yeah, I'm a teacher. I teach phys ed at a local Christian school. But that is not how I got my start in the teaching world. Last year was my first year as a full-time teacher. It was about a little over a half year after I would have graduated from college, and I was coaching volleyball at a school, and it was over the summer. We did like an open gym, and the new principal was there, I think kind of just, getting the lay of the land, and came and was like stepping in and playing with us for a little bit. And at the end we were talking, and I was like, yeah, like I got my degree in phys ed and stuff like that. He's like, oh, really? And like pretty quickly was like, do you have any interest in being a middle school science teacher? And I was like, no. And like kind of left it at that initially. But within like a couple of days, I think I had reached back out and was kind of like, I'll at least like put in an application, just because it was coming to the end of the summer, and I had not found a teaching job, and I was kind of like, I put in like a lot of work to become a teacher. I'd like to at least give it like a shot teaching. So I was like, why not? And it was also in my head that I was like, it would be cool to like teach at the school that I was coaching at, just because I was like, oh, that would make life easier in some ways, or like it'd be cool to be more invested with like these kids and what they got going on. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. That was like probably one of the hardest years of my life as far as it goes so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was essentially a year of relearning middle school science, which I would not have said I excelled in middle school and or high school.
That's funny.
There's definitely elements of it that kind of cross over into like the phys ed realm, mostly like the health realm. But it was like a lot of nights of me like learning information, putting it into a PowerPoint that I was going to like teach the next day. And even like up to the point where they gave me a nice schedule, in the sense that they gave me 2 planning periods, which is kind of rare for a teacher. And they were most of the time the first 2 periods of the day. So a lot of the time I was coming into school with like 2 of the 3 lessons like planned, and like banking on the fact that I could like learn and plan the next one like for the period that I would teach it.
Dang.
So it was like a really stressful, mostly because I wanted to do well,
Right.
and like I wanted it to work, but I also like in the back of my head was very afraid of like failing these kids in some way, where it was just like, oh, they are going to be like a year behind because Mr. Horning did not know what was going on in science class, and
He didn't know a single element.
which I did learn a lot. I mean, not that I retained a whole lot, but even actually today in a health class, we brought up something that I was like, and remember when we talked about this last year in science, and I was like, what was that like event or whatever? And like they got it, and I was like, yeah, I was like, totally did it. Totally worked.
Totally taught at least some of those.
Yeah,
things.
you remember at least one thing that I taught you. But then like there's so many things where like either I've already like forgotten it, or like if I were to ask them, there's no way. Which
No
is
shot.
part of like what I feel like middle school is in general, is like, I mean, school is essentially, I feel like it's meant to like, you get a little bit of kind of all the subjects so that you can find something that you are interested in pursuing, either further than school in education, or like in a working environment of some way once you are out on your own. And middle school especially is like, oh, we were just like giving you building blocks for like you becoming more sound in your education and understanding like what's going on in high school, as like, oh, I can select like an elective class that I'm going to take. Like, oh, I'm interested in this, I'm going to take that. So, I mean, if I would have done terrible, while it wouldn't have been great, I'm hoping that wouldn't have been the end of the world for them. So,
Yeah, that's I really enjoyed, you were posting some things on your Snapchat here and there of like science experiments, and I enjoyed watching those, and yeah, it was fun.
yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing to do, like, I'm going to be a science teacher. I don't remember anything about science, but yeah.
Which is something that I feel like I oddly get myself into more than I'd like to. I feel like I'm often interested in like the idea of something, but then like once you're like in it and having to do it, sometimes you're like, boy, I really should have thought out like what we're doing here. Like even camp, like when I'd taken a summer off and come back as like a videographer, like I did not know anything about filming or editing. Like that was all just stuff that like I figured out that year, and like,
which is insane because you made some good stuff.
I tried
some quality content,
and yeah, I genuinely enjoyed that. I haven't been doing nearly, like, I've done next to nothing like editing wise since then, but like it was very fun, like taking something, creating it, and bringing it into like, and here's the piece that you get to like see at the end of the week or whatever. So yeah, I often end up doing that to myself by accident, but I've done it enough that it's like, maybe you should just learn.
Yeah.
It's really funny to think like that my middle school teacher potentially was like learning the lesson the week before I was learning it,
Yeah.
and just being like, oh.
Which I will also say, I have family who was in your classes.
Oh boy.
I think I told you this.
Yeah, actually we did.
Yeah.
But you'll have to, well, maybe.
Later,
Tell me
yeah,
who. Tell me
later,
who.
yeah. That And they liked you. They said they had a great time, and that you were a good teacher.
Didn't give me an apple though.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
What's up with that?
I do kind of remember them saying like it did kind of seem like it was like new to you, but like it was, so that makes sense. And
Which I feel like they were kind of warned, or either by me or by others at the beginning of the year, that it was like, like, I don't know. That was one of those things where I didn't know if it was like I should be broadcasting that I don't know what I'm doing, or like fake it till you make it type of thing. Like, and a reminder, this is not what I went to school for. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And again, like I would say that I knew it enough to like give you information to learn. Like, it's not like they were not learning, but then there was oftentimes like, I mean, like a follow-up question or something that I'm just like, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. Like a lot of the time, like I would just look stuff up in class. I'm like, all right, hold on, we're gonna look that up and we're gonna find out right now what the answer to that question is.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it does feel very wrong because it's supposed to be like you think of your teacher as a professional in the sense that like, oh, they went to school to become this, and it was like, especially in Christian or private schools, I feel like there's less of that sometimes because there's not as many like you wouldn't need to have a degree in that to teach that at a private school, which is not often true of like public schools.
Right.
I guess you can, some ways you can in public school, but it's a lot more rare, I'd say.
Yeah. I often found that at camp, like if they didn't know how old you are, they would like respect you a little bit more, and then like, oh, you're only like 18, like man.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want now. But yeah, I can see how them like thinking you know what you're talking about makes them just follow a bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend this past weekend who's a middle school teacher for history and English, and I was like, what are you guys even like learning about in middle school, or whatever? And like I was just kind of giving him a hard time about it, and then or whatever, and he was like, yeah, honestly, I don't feel like I teach them a whole lot. He's like, they're not gonna like look back on this information. He's like, there's a little grammar or whatever that they can build upon. He's like, but honestly, I think like for middle school, I'm just trying to teach them how to learn, and they'll do like most of like their learning like outside or like in high school, like you said, like they'll find something they're interested in, but like you're just making building blocks, and like you're just giving them the confidence to be like, this is hard doing my spelling homework, or this is hard like learning these facts, but like I'm gonna push through it because I want to learn and grow, and like just teaching kids that.
Yeah, middle school is very much like a transitional 2 to 3 years for like, and as you have both been through middle school, if you were to like think back about it, like it was crazy like coming in and seeing the difference between like 6th graders and 8th graders. Like some basic assignments, what I thought to be like basic, were like next to like elite for like the class. Like there was like 2 people that were like able to get it in like this age range or whatever. Especially like 7th grade, again, kind of just like in the middle, depending on like how your middle school's set up. But like 6th graders are elementary school students until like the back half of the year, and then they've like kind of figured out like this transition into, oh, we are independent and having to start to like do some things on our own that are not just like kind of handed to you in a sense. And then 8th grade's at the point where it's like they're practically high schoolers. Like some of them, whatever, maybe behind a little bit, but like a lot of them you can give more like task to. And I guess you could say that of a lot of like kindergarten to 5th grade or whatever.
Sure.
But there's not a lot of teachers besides middle school and high school that would see like the beginning and the end of that, like the 6th grade and the 8th grade. Like you teach all of those. And I guess that's not always true in public school. Like you might just be a 6th grade teacher or something like that and like really dial that in. But oftentimes like you're teaching a 6th grade section, a 7th grade section, an 8th grade section. So like differentiating between like those different like learning styles and like where they're at is kind of crazy just because it is such a like weird 3 years of your life.
Yeah. And you're a phys ed teacher now, so that's like all of them, right? That's all of the...
Now I teach 1st through 10th essentially, maybe some 11th, 12th for health. But yeah, that's been a whole like different element in itself. Like I very much enjoy teaching phys ed as it is like something that I'm passionate about and like went to school for. But like again, there's like you can literally go from like teaching a 10th grade class and then like having a first grade class like afterwards, and it's just like the difference between like 1, 2, 3 eyes on me and like, all right, we're gonna play such and such, and like half of them know how to play it already, but we're gonna go through the steps or whatever. So yeah, it's cool that I was able to see the difference between like, so a core teacher where it's like your math, LA, science, and like social studies, and then like a specialist teacher where like I see them once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on what the class is, and the difference between those. Like there's so many pros and cons between the two that I'm like, we could make such a elite teaching experience if you were like right here, but like that's just not how it's set up. So
yeah, it's cool. It's almost like a fun uncle type role if you're only seeing them like once a week, but you still have to like have authority too. So I'm sure that can be difficult.
Yeah, and I think that was something that I very much missed last year, was like when I went to school for becoming a phys ed teacher, like even my student teaching, like it's all fun and games.
Right.
Like they're coming to literally have fun and play games.
It's literally fun and games.
And then like last year was like, oh wait, you mean we had to sit down and like learn through like, and that's why I really like phys ed, is because you really just like learn through the experience of like, I'm gonna tell you how to do something and then you're just gonna go do it. So like listen up and then you're gonna get to try. So like if you're not doing it right, you'll figure that out too.
Right.
But yeah, so now it's back to like fun and games, but being there, that they're coming back like every week, there is like elements of like, oh, that was all right, this class is like out of control right now, we gotta, it is definitely not for teaching in general, obviously is not for everyone,
right.
But like, and I think most teachers would say this of their subject area, but it's like, it's kind of a different beast. Like they expect to like come in and get to be crazy for like the next 45 minutes or whatever. So like trying to wrangle and be like, sit down for a couple minutes, we're going to learn this and then we're going to play.
Right.
And it's just like,
it's gym
time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there does have to be a bit of you got to wrangle them at some point.
Yeah. Like there's one guy that I've seen on the internet somewhere, and he's like probably similar in age to me, but he kind of like holds his phone. Gotta eat this apple or get rid of it. While he's like talking to students, and it's kind of funny. Like you can just like, it's very relatable, like conversations. Like it was like a try to understand like this kindergartner like level extreme or whatever, and it's just like babble for like 20 seconds, and then he's like,
yeah.
All right, we're going to move on from that.
Yeah.
And like the amount of just like things like and yelling and like loud noises that happen, like this is like, I love sitting down and talking, but at the end of the day, like all I do is like blow a whistle and yell majority of the day, like, or at least speak loudly to like be listened to. And then like coming home and like, woo, we just gotta take a second here.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. The other day we were playing a game, a tag game where they have to pool like flag football flags as part of this game. And it's a high energy class, and they are like pretty competitive, but a bit argumentative as well. And like it's kind of getting to the point where it's like I've been doing the thing where like you sit there and you wait for them to stop talking, and then somebody like realizes, they're like, guys, he's waiting. He's waiting.
Yeah.
And then like they all listen.
Hit the I'll wait.
Yeah. Honestly. And then like set them off for that round. They run and like chase each other or whatever, and like instantly just like chaos and yelling or whatever. And they come back, and like two of them are like, let me set this down, like one on each side of me, stay, and like tapping on me, and he's like, he tackled me, she is cheating, she is cheating. And I like, we have like a whistle that we use to, you know, 1 means go, 2 means stop. And I would just like, I was standing like straight, and I would blow the whistle twice, and I would say, all right, go lay down. Cause like that was part of the game. And it was just like continuous, like he is cheating and she is tackling me. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I wish somebody could like see what is like taking place right now, which again, like genuinely part of the job, and I don't like completely mind it, but there's times where you just kind of like stop and you like laugh at yourself. You're like, man, imagine like such and such in this position. Like there's not a lot of people that would just like not lose their mind right now. And
Yeah.
it's like, even as like a professional, you're like, all right, everybody's gotta chill out here for a second.
Right.
But
Let's lock in, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. There's I feel like kids have a special gifting of like really getting in the nerves. I think all parents would agree with that. All teachers would agree with that. All camp counselors would agree with that. Obviously, that's one small part of being that, like being a teacher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like, to compare, just because we've all done camp, it is really just like, even when it was science though, it's extended camp with more learning.
Yeah.
Like the
That's
like
another thing.
He had less
go
fun
ahead.
activities.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I don't like comparing camp to like teaching
Sure.
or like parenting, because it is such a small like thing in comparison to those things.
Yeah.
But like it is like experience with kids, and like so there is like some comparison there, but it's not like a profession like teaching
Right.
would be in.
Right.
Yeah, or as serious as a task of what being a parent is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. But continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's like, I think I was looking at it because I was like doing my lesson plans, and I often like label them by like week 10, week 11, week 12. And I forget, it was like week 19 or 20 or something like that. And I was like I often associate that with like, and there's 8 weeks of camp or whatever. And it's like, oh my goodness. It's like we've done camp, but we're going to do it like 4 or 5 like times this
Yeah,
year.
that's
And
insane.
and it's the same kids. And it's
Yeah.
like thinking of like camp, and there's, sometimes the nice sweet kids that keep coming back, and then there's the troublemakers that keep coming back, and it's like, it's the same thing
Right.
at school. None of them leave. They all come back every day.
Yeah. Which it's crazy like thinking of like that kid who I could only really handle for about 8 weeks. And that's actually
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
40 weeks or
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's insane. Shoot.
It's funny because it's like, I don't know, less true of probably phys ed or whatever, but I had this one teacher. It was a statistics teacher, and he's like, there's not a ton like on statistics. Like, it's not like you go home, you start talking like with bad grammar. People would be like,
Right.
you're talking weird.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I could totally teach you guys the wrong information.
And like
You guys would take it
nobody-
as gospel.
Right.
I could like continue to affirm you on the tests by grading them incorrectly,
Yeah.
and then you'll just like go out in life and fail everything
These are-
statistics.
Yeah, these are
And
stats.
we were all like, why would you say that?
It's kind of messed up, man.
Do you ever feel like that pressure or burden to like, not to lead people astray, but to lead them on that correct path of just being like, whatever you tell them, they're probably going to believe because you're in a place of like authority.
Right. Yeah. I think there is an element of that, and mostly because I'm doing a second first year, if that makes sense. Because like it was a first year of science and it was a first year of phys ed, and there's definitely elements of like the curriculum that I teach that I would not say like I excel in the sense of mostly in like the health realm. Like there's like parts of the skeletal system or whatever that like, sure, like I'm not going home and researching all 206 like bones in your body, but like I could have told you that it was 207, and like you like you said, you might have just believed it because the teacher said it was 207. So like I want to try to make sure that it's like on par. Like I try not to just like, if it's because I don't know myself, like I try not to just like make stuff up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not that I try. I don't just make stuff up. So like if it's wrong, like I feel like it's okay. And there's a lot of good things that can come of being like, I don't actually know. Like we can figure that out, or like I'll get back to you on that. But there is like a pressure to be like, I want to make sure that I'm teaching you it right. And like if I say something wrong, I want to make sure that I go back and like correct like, oh, and by the way, what I said was totally incorrect. So make sure that you remember it the other way. But yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. I was gonna say, and now that you're phys ed and you're teaching all these, like you're gonna have the first graders that you have this year,
Right.
next year. I mean, unless
Yeah.
it's a private school, so they can get pulled into public or
Sure.
move or whatever. But some of those kids you might have 10 years.
Right. Which
I mean,
is like,
depending how long you stay there as well.
yeah, which I'm sure you could do the math on it. I don't know how close that would be to like having them the same as like a core teacher for like 1 year. Like essentially I might have them for 1 year like during their time.
Yep.
Which is still kind of crazy because it's not like you will see them developmentally at like 10 different years of their life, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
How like physical does it get? Like how sweaty are these
So
kids
physical.
getting? You know what I mean? Like are they showering? At least the older
mile
kids.
every day before
Yeah.
before we
Yeah.
start. No, we have 2 showers in our locker room, and I'm not positive that they currently turn on. They may be turned off. I've looked into it briefly myself, which brings me to a different story sometime. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's like crazy intense. Part of me would like I feel like it's general phys ed for like all students. So there's an element of like you should tone it back to some extent where it's like some people would be really okay with just like going really hard at like whatever it is for like a good amount of time, but there's others that are like way just like we're not into this. Like even remembering like there was people that were into phys ed and there was people that were into other things. Like in high school, I feel like you think about it the most, but like it definitely starts like in elementary school. Like people that are constantly like, when do we think that this will be over? Or and you don't see it as much, I'd say, in elementary. It's very few individuals that will like actually express that, I feel like, because most of them are just like excited to run around. But like at some point they are deciding like, I am excited to like run around for class, or I'm not as thrilled. So not super intense to answer the question. I feel like the most that they will probably do as like just like straight fitness is like we do still do like the presidential challenge.
Oh yeah.
So like they'll do like their push-ups and their curl-ups and their like mile test and like that. But that would probably be the most of just like straight, we're going to exercise for this. And maybe if we had more like things like we don't have like a weight room or like a cardio room, or like maybe there would be like specific units or classes like to that. But I feel like most of what I try to make like their exercise is through some sort of like gameplay. So it's like almost tricking you in some way. Like if you're not interested, it's like maybe you're interested in like competing with your friends or like playing the game.
Yeah. I remember you telling me the one time that like you were like doing something and the one girl was like, "Hey, can I like not do this?" And you were like, "No."
Sorry, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Or
is
something
like
that. Yeah.
yeah, you just get like the most random questions. No, my
no,
apple.
it's gonna be all hairy.
I'll delete it. But yeah, the most random like questions of like that is, and especially younger kids are pretty brutally honest with that. Like, this is weird. All right.
Go ahead.
You're entitled to that opinion.
Yeah, I was also wondering, like, I was trying to think of like what did I do in elementary school gym, and like you remember the like the parachute thing, but like we didn't do that every day,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
what was I doing in kindergarten
The
gym?
little rolly
Yeah,
like
those.
the things on wheels.
I was thinking a line
Yeah.
tag. You can only stand on the white lines, and you like pretty much just
Yep.
play tag. with
Pac-Man tag.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's line tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else goes on in elementary school gym? Phys ed. Sorry.
Yeah. It depends. Like, it still is kind of unit based. So like, I think the first unit that I taught was like spatial awareness, which is like probably more important for like the youngest, like kindergarten, first grade. I taught it to second grade as well this year, but like kind of the idea of like we're gonna play this game and you have to be able to like control your body from like either one, like stepping out of the area, or like two, like running into other people. Like I can remember in college there being an incident with, we taught phys ed to homeschoolers on Friday, like as students. Like that was like one of our things to do. And I had the youngest group and I tried to play a tag game, and I didn't realize how important it is to describe like the area that we are like in, and like you can't go outside of this line. And there was a girl that went outside of the lines and was like really giddy and like into the game. And I kept trying to go over to her to like tell her like, you have to come inside the lines. And she kept running away from me because she was like, he's trying to tag me. And like it just kept going. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. I was like, you're out, but you don't know it. So you just keep running.
Yeah.
So it was like a good like 30 to like a minute of me like, you have to come inside, and like getting closer and her being like,
That's awesome.
That's good.
That's really good. So that's cool. So yeah, I guess in elementary school I would not have recognized that those games were intended for me to learn spatial awareness and like
right.
what would the other units be for that?
There would have been some like locomotor movements at the beginning of the year, like skipping, running, galloping.
Sure, yeah.
But I felt like that was something that I saw taught a lot during my student teaching, but it seemed like they all so far had a pretty good understanding of that. Like some definitely excelled more than others, but that was like a test at one of the places that I like student taught, and it was like, can they like walk across? Can they run across? Can they skip across?
Right.
We did like a basketball unit, which was like dribbling, passing, and shooting, like
Nice.
basics of like, and still like, it's not like they're like pulling up from 3 and like form shooting, but like
What age was that?
that was like first and second grade.
Oh, okay.
So like most of that was like, I used a lot of volleyballs. I'm sure we could have used basketballs, but again, same thing. I was like, I don't know how experienced they are right now, just because I haven't taught them before. It's like I'm gonna start expecting kind of low expectations, which was interesting because then it was a 4th or 5th grade class, I think, that had earned a free period, and normally I'll let them like choose an option, and then we put it like into a bucket and like we pull something out, and I let them pick basketball, which like I hadn't taught them basketball, so I kind of just was like, sure, basketball, and put it in there, and I like lowered the rim for them because it got pulled and stuff, and like gave like a 2 to 3 minute like discussion on like, and this is how you play. You can't like run with the ball, and you can't like, and it was like 5 to 10 minutes of utter chaos. Like I was like, all right, I'm never doing that again. Like that was just a mistake on me. These need to be games that we have learned as a class.
Right.
Otherwise, it will be a free for all. It was very fun to watch, but it was just like, woo. And it was funny because I share an office with our AD, who's also new this year, and he's like about the same age as me. And he like occasionally will just like be in and out of his office, and I could see him like out of the corner of my eye. And I like kind of like walked over to him, and he was like, "So what are they doing?" And I was like, "You can't tell." I was like, "Yeah, we're not doing this again."
That's funny. Like kids intentionally trying to play basketball, and somebody who absolutely knows basketball being like, "So what are they doing?"
What's going on over there? It was to the point where like right before the end, there was like a group of like 4 that had like split off and were playing their own tag game on like the side, and I was like, we've lost all control.
Yeah,
But
that's funny. Yeah. I just imagine they weren't probably playing very good like zone defense or running any wheel
see
routes
ball,
or-
get ball,
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Right.
It was
More keep
very
away,
yeah,
like-
yeah. Like I have the ball, I'm gonna dribble it, stop. I'm gonna start dribbling again. I might grab it and run for a little bit.
Yeah.
There was probably like 2 shots that went up like
Oh,
during
yeah.
this time, and like there was definitely some kids that probably have played like some grade school basketball, but like we're not able to like do enough
Right.
with like 7 other kids running at them like, give me that ball.
Yeah. Which I remember going to my littler cousin's soccer games.
Yes,
back
it
in
was
the
very
day.
much like the blob.
Yeah, where they all just kind of go together and like
Yeah.
know how like soccer's supposed to work, where you're supposed to spread out and whatever. Which I don't know very much about soccer or football or whatever, whatever you want to call it. Football.
I just joined a rec league every Thursday.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, starting I guess in 2 weeks.
Dang.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you played soccer?
No,
Okay.
I'm not that good. But like, there's a lot of like, just like guys and like 16-year-old kids from like my church that are like really good.
Okay.
And so they're like, you gotta come play.
Dang.
You can run fast. I was like,
Sure.
I'll be there. It'll be fun.
I'm in.
I'll
Get your
learn.
cardio in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I played soccer for 1 year.
Oh yeah.
I got yellow carded for illegally subbing.
What year were you like young?
I think
Yeah.
I was in middle school.
What
Okay.
flavor of sub?
It
if
was-
you don't mind me asking.
It was it was during middle school, and I think somebody was like, you should like really try it. Yeah, like similar, like, you're like, you do sports, you should try it. And I signed up for like a out of season like rec league, but they didn't have enough kids for like the rec team, so they just signed me up on the select team, which was like groups of like kids from like 3 different like local middle schoolers that were like all like playing year-round soccer,
Oh wow.
and me, and I was just like existing. So yeah, there was one point where like the ball went out of bounds or whatever, and I like totally thought it was like our ball, and like started to run onto the field like saying whoever's name I was like supposed to say, and the guy like blew the whistle and like stopped, and like it took way longer than it felt like it should have for him to like pull out the yellow card and like write down in his book like
right.
illegal sub.
This guy's
And
an
I was like,
idiot.
oh my goodness. I was like, this is pretty embarrassing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I played soccer for like 1 year when I was a very, very small kid. And all I remember is I like got trampled one time because like I got near the ball and then like tripped and fell and then and I like was just like in tears and I think I quit like that day.
I'm done.
Yeah. I'm out of here. I'm sticking with baseball.
So what age range is the rec soccer team? Like
I think it's just 14 and up.
that anybody can play?
Yeah, like we
Okay.
have like a couple like 30, 40-year-olds on
Yeah,
the team.
yeah.
And like we got a bunch of like 18, 16-year-olds and then like a couple in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad did a similar thing, and same, wouldn't have played soccer. I think he like played with a group or whatever. But I'm always impressed by how intense people get about like rec sports.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's one specific time that I can remember being like, oh, like as a kid I was like, that seems like a little much.
Yeah.
They were like playing, and it was like, you know how like you do a throw in from like the sideline or whatever, and the guy was like standing like almost face to face with him or whatever, and the guy throwing it in was like, if you're not gonna move, I'm gonna throw it off your head, and the guy was like, I'm not moving, and he just threw it right off the front of his face, and I was like, I felt like the whole like it was just dead silent on the sideline, and everybody was kind of like, I was like, but then they just like kept playing. Then I was like, all right, that was weird.
Cool.
It's like kind of odd. But
I felt that way at church softball.
yeah,
in the past.
that's another big one.
Yeah, where like
Yeah.
something happens and there's a call made that not everybody agrees with, and then it gets hairy for a minute, and it's so silly to me. Like I just have never felt that serious about it. And that's why I stopped playing on the one team that I was playing on, because they were just like, yeah, it's like just relax, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
We might have brought this up, but we were in a 3v3 basketball tournament
Yes.
with Brennan,
Right. Yeah.
and
Who you
as a
guys
sub, and that got very intense.
At
the
the
last
end,
like
yeah.
2
Yeah.
games, but the finals especially,
right.
it was. Were you all there? We witnessed that, right?
I think we
I
all
witnessed
stayed.
it,
Yeah.
Did you stay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Brendan was the one who didn't stay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like just so much yelling and
Well, yeah,
like,
they were yelling at each other, and then it like all came to a head,
yeah.
and they started fighting.
punches were thrown,
Yeah.
getting tackled, everyone's pulling each other away from each
Right.
other.
Yeah.
There was like a cash prize too, so that made it even more
Right.
intense.
Yeah. Yeah. They cared about it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another one where I felt like it was just like one of those things all you could do. I mean, not all you could do is watch, but like I wasn't going to be the person to like run in there
No.
and like try to stop it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like on the sides, and you're like,
Well, and it happened so quick.
What?
Like, yeah, like it happened so quick, and,
Right.
and they were pulled away pretty quickly
yeah,
as well.
yeah. It wasn't like a whole lot of punches or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
a scuffle, a
Yeah.
scrum.
Yeah. And yeah, which that was insane. And what was funny too is I was like, it must have been months later, I was scrolling YouTube shorts and I found a video of the same dude who was in that scuffle that we all witnessed, like online, like in another scuffle, like with some content creator who was doing like play on the street, whatever, and getting in a scuffle again, which was, and then I sent it to you guys. I was like, this was the guy. Yeah. Which is insane.
Not a first time offender.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, yeah, people take their sports very seriously. Which, it's something you're passionate about, I guess.
Yeah. At that age, I feel like there's a lot of people that like that's kind of as far as competition goes and like something that's gonna like light a fire under you. Like you might work a job that you're like really not interested in, but
Sure.
every week you get 2 chances to beat up on whoever in like
Yeah.
this sport.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I kind of see that as like, that's how I see like, it's so not worth the like I, you know, whatever. I work 40 plus hours a week. I'm not coming to play basketball to like, to, you know, feel more upset. Like I'm coming here as an escape. Like
Right.
this is my like escape. I'm not here to like, I'm here to have fun. I'm not here to like
Yeah.
be like,
I guess
know.
that's like,
I don't know.
but especially in like more manual labor
Sure.
or things like that. You know, you're a construction worker. You're like, yeah, sure, I can be chill when I'm playing sports.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're like an accountant or something,
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
guess so.
I'm ready to like
Yeah.
let out the lion. You know,
Sure, yeah.
Knock some
I could
heads
see
today.
that. Yeah. I could see that.
got to be all professional for 40 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a question. We're talking about teachers. Do you guys have a teacher that stood out to you in your career, like schooling career? Neither of us went to college, but I mean, you can include your college professors if you'd like. Or a coach, I guess, too. Would be good. I have one in mind.
Go for it.
I had a fair amount actually over the years. In elementary school, my grandma was a secretary and at the school, and she knew a lot of the teachers, and then they ended up knowing me, and so like, I actually like still see them every once in a while if my grandma's like hanging out with them, which is like funny. So like I had a really cool like kindergarten teacher. I was about to say their name. I guess I don't know. Whatever.
It's just last names, right?
Yeah. I guess if they don't know the first name, then it'll be fine. Miss.
I'm gonna look her up.
Was my
That could be
kindergarten
anybody.
teacher. Yeah. She was really cool. I had a a bunch over the years. Miss, and I really liked a lot of my all of the music teachers at work were really awesome, and like Miss and Mrs. I mean, yeah. I guess if you're, I'll probably blur it because you could just look
You
up
know the school.
Warwick. Yeah, because I've said many times that I went to Warwick, so maybe we'll blur it. But I, in senior year, had, well, in high school, I feel like I had a lot of really good ones. Like I said, all the music department ones. A couple of the tech ed ones were really cool. But one teacher I had him as I think I talked about this in the chess episode, but I had him as a study hall my freshman year, and the only thing that he taught was senior English, and he would teach like, honors and whatever, all the different types of English, but it was only for seniors. And so like first day we were in there, he was like, and some of you guys are freshmen and all you freshmen suck, and he was just like would always be ragging on the freshmen and like underclassmen, and it was always fun, and like but I never was a huge fan of like doing homework, so I would just play chess in his study hall all the time, and like so it was really cool. And then I had that one for the whole year. Then I had him a half a year junior year, and then senior year I ended up having him as my English teacher, which was really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And the only reason I did any assignments when COVID hit was because I didn't want him to think that I was a bum, because English was the only like actual class I was taking during the COVID time. So yeah, he was really cool, and I just really appreciated how like he treated us like we were people, not like we were kids, or which I feel like you get a lot of the time. You can get teachers that are just like you can tell they just feel like they're herding cattle, or that they don't necessarily like. Sometimes it feels like they don't care, or which, like, no, back in the day I would get like upset with teachers if I like didn't feel like they were good, and now that I like am more wise, like, they're doing their job, and like they all have their own things that they're going through. So if like they are, being a bad teacher one day, sometimes it's not their fault and whatever. But, or what middle school Braden would have considered a bad teacher, Anywho, I'm getting off topic. Yeah, I just appreciated how he like was always very honest, and like wouldn't, he would like speak his mind, and was just was just a cool guy, very wise guy.
Wise guy, eh?
Big wise guy.
Yeah, lots of wisdom, and yeah, he was just great. So it was like he was like one of the guys like, man, I think it would be cool to be like a super old teacher one day.
Super wise.
Yeah, he was like a real life like Oogway, Master Shifu, Gandalf. Like, he didn't have as much like whimsy as them, but like wisdom. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, like, I think back to my classic teachers being kind of those like late elementary school years. I just like, especially because elementary school you're with like a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of teach like all the subjects. Not that like a high school teacher teaching just one period can't have the same impact or more of an impact. But I think like, especially too, like, there's so many different teachers in high school, and they did so many things so well, like in their specific like whatever. But I don't know, when I think about an impactful teacher, I'm going back to like 4th and 5th grade. My 4th grade teacher, she was awesome. She was really funny, super animated, super like lively. When she would shake your hand, she'd go like this. Like, awesome. It was like to everyone, like the parent teacher conference, your parents would walk crazy. In. She's like, nice to meet you. And which was hilarious. And she called me out. I got into a bad habit of like you had to get your agenda signed every night by your parents.
Wow.
Like, you get
every night.
Your homework, like they would check in that you like were working on your homework, whatever. And like, that's just a lot of work. I always did my homework as a like elementary school kid. But like, I just would forget to get it signed, or just hate to get it signed, or just be like, oh, I don't want to bug my mom to get this signed. So I would just start forging my parents' signatures on the bottom.
And what grade was this?
This is in 4th grade.
Nice.
And I would do it. And my parents gave me and my brother permission. They're like, hey, if you need a slip to go onto the field trip, if you need like this, like to go onto the book, we want you to be able to like use our signature.
Nice.
So like, from a young age, we were like forging it, like, and we got decent.
Yeah.
And I would like learn the characteristics. It helped. I was a little artistic, and but yeah, clearly as a 4th grader,
right.
I was not so good at it. So like, there was like, you could tell it was like my mom's signature, mine, and then like she like called me up and she's like, come on. I was like,
come on now. Come on.
Yeah. And she had a bearded dragon in the classroom named Ice Cube.
Wow.
And like, we got to like feed him crickets and take care of him, and that was awesome.
That's awesome.
And then the year after, we had Mr. Rogers.
Boom.
And he was just awesome. Like, he like had a sign, welcome to my neighborhood, like on the door, and me and Austin had him, and it was just fun. Like,
oh yeah.
It was a really cool class. Like, it was just like all of our close friends. Like, when we had like field day, like we won every single event, like first and
crew.
second place.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
That's sick.
So that was just like, and he was the coolest teacher. He was the high school track coach, and so he was really cool. Yeah.
Shout out my 6th grade teacher. I like saw her playing disc golf once at a like local park.
Like recently, or like
yeah. Like
that's cool.
I think I was graduated like 2 years at that point, and she like saw me and was like, I was like, hey, are you a sixth grade teacher, Mrs. whatever? And she was like, yeah, are you Braden? I was like, no way you remembered my name. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I look way different than I did when I was in sixth grade, I think. At least I'm way taller. Yeah. So that was crazy.
Yeah, that's
Shout
really
out her.
impressive.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had some teachers that I preferred. Yeah, it's kind of hard to like go down to like just one.
Yeah.
I really liked my like college professor of our major. He was really fun, down to earth guy. Like I felt like he was very like in tune with like like it felt like he was also like kind of giving us like some freedom and like you guys are college students. Like it was just a very fun class to be. Like it was never like I was disappointed to like go to one of my like classes within my major, which is like nice because that could totally go like the other way, especially in college. And he also taught like all the ones in our major until they got an adjunct professor, and he was super good too. I really liked him. But yeah, he was just like, we often like would take us to like Chick-fil-A for like breakfast or like
Nice.
bring in donuts or something like that, and like I don't know where exactly all that money was like coming from, like, but I guess some of it was fundraised stuff for our like department, but like it always felt cool. It was like, we're gonna do like this, and then we're going to Chick-fil-A, and we'd like load up into like his truck, and he'd like take us over, and he's like a dad and had a bunch of kids, like there was stuff like all over like the back of his truck. He's like, all right, hop in, and we're like all just like going to like Chick-fil-A, like, yeah, this is great. So that was cool.
So was there not very many people in your major?
There was, but like, I mean, we definitely carpooled. It's not like we all got into his truck. But there was probably like the class sizes were not huge, like max like 15 maybe,
Okay.
like sometimes, as far as within our major, because that was still a little bit of like separated between like freshmen and sophomores, seniors and juniors like together. So like there was more in our major than what was in our class oftentimes. But yeah, a small knit group and community, I'd say, which was cool.
Yeah.
I had a couple of tech teachers that I really liked in high school. The one was like famous for like a couple of sayings. Like he'd always go like this and go, ouch. Like he like cut off his finger because he was like in like the wood shop and stuff like that. And he would always like 64 was like a failing grade or whatever. So like he'd like come over and look at your work, and then he'd go 64, and they'd like leave, and you're like, all right, cool. He was a really cool guy. And I always claim, and it's true, but my middle school gym teacher was the one that was like, oh, I want to be like a phys ed teacher. Like he, I think I had him 2 years, and then he retired. So he was like very much on like the way out. He was a track coach too for like middle school. And
those are the best teachers.
Right.
Get
he
one
was
on their like last couple of years when they have tenure and they're like the most.
And he had been there like for a while. So like he was very much like the old ways of gym class. Like we did like one of our units was wrestling, and we literally got like weighed, and like you just wrestled somebody else like in your class.
That's
and
awesome.
Like, that's crazy. Or like I can remember doing floor hockey, and it was like you got so many penalties till you were like ejected, but you were also like allowed to check people. And like I have a vivid memory of like the way that our gym was set up was there was like the wrestling room was next to our main gym in middle school, and it had like a double doors that went into the main gym in the wrestling room. So we would play floor hockey in there, and we got like 3 of us like checked into like the door and like fell out into like the gym classroom, and it was like boys and girls at that time for like our gym class, and they were in there like, I don't know, dancing or something that girls do. But it was just like all 3 of us were like on the ground and like kind of like looked real quick, and then we're like back into the room, and it was just like, I wonder what it looked like from their perspective. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What are they doing next door?
Just the Kool-Aid man. Just
Yeah, pretty
Over the
much.
door and then-
Pretty much. I was like, that was
thought-
sick.
I started giggling because you told me that story before.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it was just a very iconic, like, I would never allow that, like, as a phys ed teacher now, but, like, it's just, like, it was cool to be a part of.
Right, yeah. We had one of the gym classes that was offered at school was dance and aerobics, and it was always just girls in there.
Yeah.
And like every once in a while, like you'd walk past or whatever, and they'd be flopping around. And there they go.
All right.
Yeah, it was cool. Funny. Yeah. Wow. That's a memory I hadn't thought about in a while. Yeah, there was. Yeah, I have my one. We're shouting out as well. My one tech ed teacher who I had a class. I had 2 classes with him in the start of senior year, and then in the back half of the year, I did it was wood 1 and metalworking 1, and then in the back half of the year I did wood 2, and then I TA'd for a metalworking class, like the class that I had just taken, and I was a senior, and a lot of the kids that were in those classes were like freshmen, sophomore, and like, so it was super chill. Like me and him were like just bros the whole time, it felt like. And then January of my senior year, my grandpa died, and I was like going through it, and like he could tell, and so he like was just like super cool. And the one specific day, he just like, I was just like sitting there, and he was like, "Hey, like you can do as much or as little as you want. I don't care." And then he like went on and like was teaching the class, and it's like 45-minute periods. So
Yeah.
I was literally just kind of sitting there like on my phone the whole time. And then like at one point he like came over and was like, he said, I'll never forget this. He was like, like, sometimes I'm like, having a bad day, and I'll just, think about being retired and sitting on my porch in my chair and just drinking a nice ice cold Coke. And like that was kind of it. And like, and he just like said that, and then just kind of like sat there for a second and like walked away.
Drop some knowledge.
Yeah. And then I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know why, like, because that, like, just that image isn't necessarily helpful for like a grieving process of like losing a grandfather. I guess, but like just the, like, I don't know if I think it was just like the fact that he took the time to come over and like say something to me, or like I don't know, it just struck me like very meaningful, and I was very appreciative for him of that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool that like a really good teacher can like really change your life. And like yeah.
Yeah. The other part of like that old teacher that almost was retired was like the reason that I like wanted to be the phys ed teacher was there was one time that we ran a 5K that was like close to his house or whatever, and it was like 40 minutes away from where we lived, and like, I mean, just semi close to where he lived. And I remember he came and like watched, and it was like no one else from like school, like it was just like he would have known my dad from track, but like me and my dad that were like running, and like I remember he like talked to us like afterwards or whatever, and he very well could have just like had plans to come already, but like in my head I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And he came and watched me on my Saturday to do my event, and I was like, that would be so cool to like be able to have some sort of impact like that in somebody else's life.
Yeah. Shout out to my high school FCS teacher.
Whoa.
She came into like the cafe maybe like a couple months after we were open, and she was like, I saw your name in the paper, and was like, I recognize that. And she was like, hey, congrats. Like, this is so cool and whatever. And like, just super cool to be like teachers that like still care and have like an impact. And like her and her husband will come by like, once a month or every other month. And like, it's just cool to like, and it's not like that was a crazy class or like anything. But it's just like still making an impact and still like caring about students, like even though they're like long graduated.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Fun.
What is FCS? Family Consumer
Family
Science?
Consumer Science, yeah.
We called that facts.
Nice.
Facts class.
Nice.
That's funny.
It was funny. This is so like random, but we were eating dinner with like, this was years ago. We were eating dinner with like some close family friends, and he has younger sisters. And so like we might have been like late high school or like just out of high school or whatever, and so his like younger sisters were like, I don't know, late middle school, early high school, whatever, and like the conversation was brought up, and her parents were like, I can't believe you have an F in FCS, whatever, something, whatever. And she's like, it's just because I haven't turned these things in. It's fine. Like, it'll whatever. She's like, the grade will get up or something. And, like, I made a joke about she puts the F in FCS. And then we were, like, laughing about that. She's like, I'm going to get the papers in. It'll go up at least to, like, it'll definitely go up. Like, and I was like, then maybe you'll be able to put the C in FCS.
That's pretty good. That was always a funny class.
FCS?
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, never mind. I'm gonna not say that.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I forget what I was gonna say.
Say it.
No, I was gonna say something else then too, and I forgot what it was. And then I was gonna say something about FCS, and never mind. I actually had an F in that was I think I failed my 8th grade facts class.
Whoa.
Or no, it was
Didn't do the dishes or something.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it was like mostly computer class. It might have been I don't know. But I think I just didn't turn. There was like one big, because I don't think it was a computer science class, but we like it was mostly, we only like worked on the computers because it was in the computer room. But I think it was 8th grade facts, and I think I just didn't turn in or didn't finish the giant like. There was like the whole point of the class was one project, and I didn't really do it or like finish it or something. And I think I actually like had an F in the grade or in the class at the end of the year, but it was just like whatever, go to high school.
Yeah. We live on.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's funny. Cuz I wasn't like a bad student. Like I didn't like try very hard, but like I was a decent student. I think if I would have tried harder, I could have like actually been a pretty good student, but I just didn't care all that much. And so yeah, I don't know. Cause I would try to be honest though, like, and I would like try to like do things except for homework. But
yeah, I was not great at homework in like high school either. Like it wasn't until college that I was like, oh, I'm paying for this one.
Right.
Like I guess I should like, and it was incredible how many people really struggle to do that in college. Like show up to class and like the bare minimum of college is show up to class and do your work. And like there is definitely challenging classes in like higher education, but it's still majority of just like the basics of like the old college try is like a good place to like you will probably graduate off of that unless you're like just doing it completely wrong.
yeah. Or you just don't care, I guess.
Yeah. Which is impressive how many people also just go and like have no desire or real intent with like I'm here because I had nothing better to do at the time and maybe didn't want to work yet, or like it's getting paid for, so
yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, which is insane, and why I feel like college is somewhat of a scam, and like yeah, it's like definitely set up as like a lot of your, I feel like your youth and like the culture is you should go to college. Whereas, like, that's great if, like, you want to do something where you need a college degree for it. But if you don't, then, like, don't go to college. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Should we get into the questions? The big ones?
Probably.
Shoot. The big ones. I'm not ready for that.
Have you prepared yourself?
If it's the same ones you normally ask,
It
no.
is.
Which is funny because I'm like, I think I have an idea of like what they are. But
What is the biggest misconceptions about being a teacher or a phys ed teacher? Take it how you will.
man, I think the biggest misconception is that it is just like easy. I feel like people are like, like all you do is play games all day. And like there's a lot of work that goes into like coming up with, even at the very least, like planning a lesson for that. Even if it's like, hey, we're gonna play these 3 games, like you have to be able to figure out what 3 games you're playing, make sure that you know the rules well enough to explain to a group of whatever age student, and then also be able to like set all that up like before. And I feel like they also like get thrown into a lot of other positions, as in like it is a specials, so like you have a lot of like duties too, like you might bus duty, like recess duty or whatever, like a lot of things that, not that core teachers wouldn't have that either, or other teachers wouldn't have that, but extra work that a other teacher might not always have, I guess you could say. That would probably be like the biggest one that I can think of off the top of my head. I just had another one, but it's slipped my mind now.
I was just thinking, I was driving past the school, your school,
Yeah.
and you guys were, or recess was happening,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Where's Caleb?
Who's out there?
And then I was like, "Oh, it kind of looks probably weird that I'm like staring really closely at a bunch of kids at recess." But yeah,
He was out of his car on the property, standing and staring. So it did make for an odd, couple minutes.
yeah. No, I was just driving past. But actually, that field is where I first started playing disc golf the most. That's where I would always do my field work.
Yeah, and it's a good field to it because
Yeah.
it's 2 soccer fields, like
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And like, yeah, even like what you were saying earlier, the like how there's like things behind the games that you're playing.
Right,
like
right. There's an
spatial awareness.
intent behind, like, we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, sometimes we play dodgeball, but
Sure.
like sometimes we play dodgeball with a purpose. And
Yeah.
like, it's a great way to figure out like who's a liar in your class too.
Oh, yeah.
Like first day dodgeball, it's like, all right, the following 6 students are liars because I watched you
Oh yeah,
get hit
yeah.
and then say you did not.
Yeah.
And competition brings that out. But
Right.
the other one that I was thinking about, and I guess maybe this isn't was the question misconception?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it goes along with like it being harder than one might think, is that majority of gyms are a multi-purpose room for a school, especially private schools.
Mm.
And like we're blessed to have 2 gyms, like the one is significantly smaller, but like the last like 2 and then going into like the next 2 weeks as well, like there is a lot of times where like I am scheduled to, or I have to work with somebody else to like leave my classroom and like go to the other one to teach, which is like time consuming and a bit of a hassle. But like taking that and then thinking of like any other teacher and being like, imagine if we just told you like, all right, take all your things and teach somewhere else today. Like one of those other just like random elements. And like I knew that like going into it too, but like another added aspect of like, it's your classroom, but like until somebody else needs it, and then it's somebody else's classroom, which isn't all the time. But
I've been in both of those gyms. No. The church that I grew up going to is right next to the school that you're teaching at now, and they would often like every once in a while we'd like rent out the gyms or whatever, and I have a specific memory of in the bigger gym, the net being like all the way down, and me and my buddy from church like dunking on each other and going, "Blake Griffin alert!" Because that's what Blake Griffin was like.
Someone.
Yeah. It was during Lob City era.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones go like the whole way down.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Because we were pretty young. We must have been like 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Blake Griffin alert.
Yeah, and I've had to lower them a couple times this past week, and I have to remember to put them back up because like any class that comes in is like, NBA.
Yeah.
I am now in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's good. I remember I was hanging out with like a 4-year-old.
Whoa.
Yeah. We were on a trampoline, and he was really into basketball because his dad was super into basketball. We were doing something, and he was like, "Dunk it," and I was like, boom, Shaq Diesel. And then he kept going, Shaq Diesel. That's awesome. I love, like, just thinking of, like, Blake Griffin alert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Second question.
Hard hitters.
Which one?
What is our second question?
Shoot. I always can
It's
never
not
come up with that. That's the last question.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Oh, no, that's no, it is success.
Oh.
How do you define success as a
Oh,
teacher?
yeah, because advice is the last one.
Ah, gotcha. Well, the only reason I know that is because on the way over, I was like thinking, I feel like they asked like the same like whatever, a couple questions, and that was the only one that came to mind actually.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't quite know. I was like, I feel like that. It's been interesting to hear other people on the pod answer the question, just because like I'm kind of curious to like. I feel like it is obviously relative to everyone's perspective of obviously what success is.
Yeah.
I think there's different areas of success, if you will. Like there's success in your family, success in your faith, success in your profession, and then all of those like combine to your definition of success. But I don't know that I have just like one thing where I'm like, once you do this or like once you've reached this, like you are successful.
Right.
I think just that's so. I was like, I don't even know, like being a good person. And I was like, that's like so like you can't just be a good person. And it's like, it's a really hard thing to define, and I don't know that I'll ever like get a chance to officially define if I've been successful or not until like I die and like hear from God. Like you know, it's like. Because, like, I mean, sure, maybe there will be a literal point where you're, like, maybe on your deathbed that you get a chance to look back and, like, I've lived a good life, or, like, be really disappointed. And, like, I'd hate to be disappointed. So maybe it would be good to have a better definition of what I view success as. But I think mine is kind of being a person that is approachable on all aspects of life. So all those three that I would have said, like your spiritual life, your family, and your profession, being somebody that can be talked to and discussed with those things about, and like it not be like someone that's like just gonna like shoot you down or like judge you or something. Like somebody that majority of people that you connect with, you can be on a level that it's like they feel comfortable and willing to like talk with you about those things in their life.
You want your students to be able to come up to you and say, "Teacher, he's tackling me."
I am very approachable until I have my whistle enough.
Right.
Then I become less approachable.
Stop. Tweet.
Yeah, that was the first class that I legitimately like. I sent them back to their like spot, and I was like, "All right, we gotta calm down." I was like, "We gotta talk. This is not acceptable."
Yeah.
But yes, I did like that they could tell me that they were being tackled.
Yeah. Cool.
And if you had one piece of advice, what would it be?
For the general public and the millions that watch.
Or maybe for a future phys ed teacher.
Oh, okay.
Whichever. You can do both too.
I feel like there's just like too many for that. I just give them like all the knowledge that I've gained in like half a year. And don't do this and do that and don't do this. Maybe this is too modern in the sense of like the world, it being okay to like do whatever you want, but I feel like don't take life too seriously, but take life really seriously, if that makes sense. Like, obviously it's about finding balance, but like there's so many times where like things that really don't matter in this world we take way too seriously, and we should like take a step back. And there's others areas where it's like, this is lacking in my life and I'm way too chill about it. Like I should really take this serious because it's important to this life and beyond, or it should be more important for the one shot that I was given like at life.
Mm.
I mean, I could be wrong, but you guys are living life for the first time too, I assume.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So just like trying to find that balance, but I think a lot of that is through, I would say, self-evaluation, but also peer evaluation. I feel like it's been brought up before, like boys that meets, and I haven't been there for a while, oddly enough, because we have family dinner that night now. But that's been a cool area that I've seen, like, people really be able to, like, do both, where it's like the first like 20 half an hour or whatever, you are just like chilling and you can do like whatever you want and joke for that, and then like for the next hour, like, you go and you take things very serious as to like, this is what's going on, and this is ways that I could grow, this is ways that you can pray for me, this is ways that you can, like, it's both ends of like that spectrum of like, we're not going to take life too seriously, and also like it's really important to like not just float through life. So that would be my advice for the people.
The masses.
Yep.
The Muppets.
Yep. The Muppets. Shout out.
Shout out the Muppets. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really great perspective. I think, yeah, I often think about, like, not taking life too seriously and, like, getting icked out when people do, or, like, why are we taking basketball so seriously
Right.
that we have to punch each other?
Yeah.
But then I don't necessarily think about, like, well, I don't think about it as much that there is a lot that you have to take seriously.
Right.
Or, yeah, there are things.
There's
that
things
you
that
should.
should.
So, yeah. Very cool. Very good perspective. Very interesting. Along the lines of that growth mindset, I feel like most a lot of the advice that I would see as good is aligned with the growth mindset type thing. It's a good you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good
Good barometer for
yeah, or like way to summarize things. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, yeah, we really appreciate you coming on and giving us a glimpse into your day to day. Oh, did you get any of those quotes?
I did not.
We can, cause she posted them on her Instagram.
She said she had a lot of really funny ones that
Oh yeah.
that didn't make it to the Instagram.
Well,
but I was thinking you could do a blooper section,
Oh
just
yeah.
an audio or something, or like.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, if you get them and send them to me. We have a friend of ours who was also a teacher for a while and would always on her Instagram at the end of every school year do like funny quotes that
Yeah.
she had from the year. And she was like a first grade,
Elementary.
It was definitely-
yeah, younger
If we're thinking of the same
teacher,
person.
which were had some very funny quotes.
Yeah.
They have some really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pop that in at the end.
Yeah. Part of the
Um,
blessing of just kids and
Yeah.
young students, I'm sure, is just, like you said, the basketball experience, but just the crazy things they say and do,
Oh yeah.
and the joy. You can just be like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That just happened.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Well, then also just appreciate your friendship over the year
Sure.
and like years, and it's kind of crazy to think about. Like I met you in 2019, that videographer summit,
Yeah.
which is. Well, we were just talking about how years were weird.
Ooh.
That's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It's now the 8th year of knowing Caleb for me, so
Crazy.
it's kind of crazy, yeah.
Well,
So,
And we've known each other for
it's 2020 when I met most people.
yeah.
so
Yeah.
7 years,
Crazy.
7th year.
Time flies.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Yeah, you were mentioning like when you first came in, doing Friendsgiving here, like
Yeah.
the first time, like way long ago, and yeah, that's a long time ago now too, and just yeah, crazy. So, anywho, great.
Thank you for coming on. We've learned a lot. You've taught us a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was my goal. Thanks for the apple. I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. That's funny. Well, cool. Should we wrap it up?
I think so.
It's that time.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Take your shirt off and do your laundry.
All right. Cool.
Ooh, I've had to pee for a little bit.
As promised, guys, I have the Instagram pulled up of our friend who was a teacher here. And I'm going to read out some of these quotes that she got from her first grade class. So here we go. Oh, Mrs. Blank, I forgot to tell you, my dad is rich. Pretty good. My skin is shredding. I almost got a science infection. These shoelaces are being cheeky. My mom said my head is a brick. Ew, smell that. It freaks. Aw, why'd you have to stop at the IMAX part of the story? Not sure what that one means. So how old was he when he was born? It's coming like a lavalanche. Nuh-uh, Mrs. Blank doesn't have a mom and dad. She has a husband. My dad's armpits smell like metal tea. I feel like a burnt hot dog. Where would Pharaoh go when he died? Correct answer, the pyramids. Student answer, to hell. I just want to yank out all my teeth so I can make money. I sometimes race my shadow. We always tie. Shaking his head. Teachers these days. This sharpener must be from China. It keeps breaking. Wow. You're not a girl. You're a teacher. Well, that's that. See you next week, guys. Bye.